Thank you once again, everyone, for joining the Hot Takes podcast with Boss. And today I brought back a familiar voice, a expert, a leader in his own right. Uh, my brother, my friend, my business partner, Kenston Henderson.
Woo! Yeah.
Yep,
That's
you
what
already know he's back.
that's
Well, folks, I have a special topic for us today, and it is something that is near and dear to my heart, particularly from the angle of that I was struggling at one point with the understanding of this topic. And who better to bring in than somebody who I've been walking this long road of life with, and we've been on parallel paths professionally, spiritually, and emotionally as it pertains to doing what we love. But the topic today is how do you deploy into purpose? Say it one more time for the people out there. How do you deploy into your purpose? And Kinston, first, I think where we should start for folks is what do you believe purpose is?
man. So I definitely believe purpose is, a simple form is really what you've been put on this earth to do. Um, I mean, is what you do that your heart beats. It even speeds up. It's almost like you in a relationship, for the first time with a girlfriend at a young age, your heart start palpitating. And you probably experienced that when you met your wife, and same
Yeah,
thing with me. I had those butterflies whenever I would, come in contact with her. But purpose is like that every day. You're excited to go to sleep so you can hear it and wake up to get to it.
yeah,
But you're not dreading it. You're no longer fighting it, but you accepted it, and it's there. And purpose is really that thing that you don't need to be hyped up. You don't need to be motivated to do. You just know that that's it, you
yeah,
know.
yeah. Yeah, I say in my TED talk that if you woke up tomorrow and you never got paid for it, but you wanted to do it anyway,
Yeah.
like that's purpose. Like you're walking, like it's the reason why you got up in the first place, because
Yeah.
you know you're about to go walk into what, like you said, what you were born to be and do.
Yeah.
Well, I would say, Kinston, then if that's purpose, then why are so many people not signing up for it every single day?
That's easy. I mean, I think the one thing that stands out is, well, a couple things stands out. Uh, Fear and money,
Okay,
fear and resources.
okay,
Um,
okay.
just my particular journey and purpose journey, it it takes money, it takes resources
Hmm.
to do what I do every day. It's entrepreneurship,
Yeah,
right? Um, and everybody would love to do their purpose without, if money was no object, if money wasn't a necessity, then everybody be doing what they purpose to do. But like I said, there's fear on the other hand of that,
yeah.
as if, what if this is not my purpose? What this is not what I'm supposed to be doing? Then
Hmm.
um, in the entrepreneurship world, that means you're taking a jump into a different career, or again, something that you're destined to do. But the I don't knows or what ifs,
Hmm.
the mindset piece comes into
Yeah,
play.
yeah. So I'm curious if fear and resources, because if we're thinking about this from the Maslow hierarchy of need,
Mm,
once I have my needs met, then I begin towards self-actualization of wanting more, to be more, and to feel purposeful in my life. But if the goal is to be fulfilled, be happy, um, feel like there's some meaning to your life, then why are resources and that fear so gripping for people that it literally can steal an entire career from them, and they turn around and never realize they've reached anything that they sought out to.
See, that's a case by case basis.
Yeah. Well,
You
well,
know,
tell me a couple. Give me a couple
so
examples, because you said
listen,
entrepreneurship, so you ain't
listen.
out selling phone books. So
So, but
what you doing?
so here's the thing. And so being in HR for, over 14 years before I
Yeah.
made the jump, my eyes was always set on the prize. The prize
Mhm.
was, um, every year, every job I had to make sure that I was getting some type of training and development experience. I had
Right.
never been in training and development, even though that's under the HR umbrella.
Mhm.
I've played different parts, recruitment to benefits to employee relations to HR journalists, but I was never in that training position. And so, you know, for me, it was always keep my eye on the prize, even when
There you go.
there was doubts. There
There you
was
go.
like, am I going to ever get here? There was fear, like, oh my gosh, I'm in my 13th year of HR, and I have yet to get into what I went to college for.
Hmm.
Can I really do it now? Can I make the transition?
Yeah.
And that was in the back of my head. But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, again, every person is different. Their motivation is different.
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah. We're different, but I think you hit on some really key things that I won't let you get off of. Is the fact that you had you had a goal, right? Your purpose ultimately can shape, it can guide, it can influence your behavior to where you knew you had a direction,
mhm,
right? And what you had to come to terms with is, do I continue to, one, professionally develop myself when nobody else is offering that to me,
mhm,
in a direction of where I feel like I'm being called into,
yeah,
right? Because so many people, because I said, there's people spend a lifetime of work, retire after 30, 40 years at a place, and look back and cannot pinpoint any happy moment in their career. And to me, that is insanity.
that's insane. Yeah.
That is insanity that
Mhm.
that can happen to a person. But tell people, I really think I wanted, what mindset did you have to continue to professionally develop yourself
Yeah.
when you weren't even being pushed to?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's again keeping your eye on the prize. Daily. Some of the jobs I was at where I was sitting in front of a computer screen, and I just say to myself, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be here. But what am I supposed to learn while I'm here? What am I
Hmm.
supposed to learn while I'm here?
Hmm.
Um, and again, okay, who do I need to connect with? Who am I constantly? Who do I need to stay in touch with? Is it getting a mentor? Which I got a mentor that was in the field of where I felt or I know I needed to
Yeah.
be at, and just constantly staying in communication with them. Um, going to different HR networking groups and training groups and making sure I'm learning different things, whether it's on LinkedIn or, just was always, again, that always intentionally had that in the back of my head while I was in these positions that I knew I felt I wasn't supposed to be there. But here's the thing. Here's the thing is once I got the purpose and started operating and training and moving where I'm supposed to be, I look back at every single job, and every single job was intentionally giving me uh, growth and development opportunities that I would use now while walking in purpose.
Yeah, and I love how you see, and once you, again, it, and can't stress enough to be present. One of the things I heard you say is you were always checking in with yourself, and you weren't ever in a position where life was just happening to you, but you were happening to life, and you were intentionally building a network before you needed it. You were intentionally looking for those mentors in career fields that you wanted to be in. Like, how often, like, I can't stand talking to people that say they want to be speakers, they want to be trainers, they want to be coaches, but have not talked to anybody other than me about that process, about that journey. And first question I ask them, who's your mentor? Who's your coach? Who else have you been talking to? What other events have you been going to? Well, I've just been going to the same old, same old. Well, if you keep going to the same old, you're going to keep getting the same old results. Again, back to insanity, right? I know people who have in HR as well, have HR upon HR certification, but they absolutely hate HR. Like absolutely, like are when you say the term the HR to them, it almost looks like they're about to gag because they have such a negative experience in the field that. But to your point, Kenston, after 13 years, that's a good chunk of your life, man.
Yeah.
Some people is like, man, I invested this much time at this business, at this organization, at this place that we might as well stay a little bit longer. But tell people, because I think there was a point when there was a transition for you when what you were connected to and the purpose that you saw. Like, what was the turning point for you that you saw was like, okay, I can do this? What was that turning point?
Yeah. So again, every position. So I had 4 positions, 4 jobs between the different in those 13 years. Again, in all, nothing that related to training whatsoever. But somehow I found whether it was a volunteer role, and I was able to do training. But a recent stint at my private, at my last job company, NetJets, where I was given the opportunity to facilitate educational sessions on benefits. And two pivotal moments. One being, I'll give you the one first, where I was talking to a senior leader, and I told them my aspirations of wanting to be in training development or development, and I felt I knew that I was supposed to be there, but they said pretty much at this point in time in your career, that'll be a tough transition. And for me in life, when everyone says that's something you can't do or something you shouldn't do, or you should probably think about something else, and you know that's deep down in your heart that you are supposed to do that thing, oh, that turned me up. That fired me up, so to speak, where I was like, oh no, we got to do this. But the other situation was really after doing a benefits presentation, and my older gentleman came up to me. He was like, Kenston, out of my 20-something years of being here, going to different presentations, and including a benefits education, yours kept me awake the entire time. But it was absolutely right. Kept me up the entire time. But it was absolutely the best presentation I've seen across the company. I was like, benefits?
Exactly.
But it hit me, and again, it made me reflect back over my career of each time I've been able to present.
Yeah.
I've always had people come up to me afterwards saying, wow, like, where did you get trained? Where did you go to school at? How did you learn to do this? How did you learn to do that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, can you help me? But that one, that was like, okay, I need to really start amping up my intentionality of going towards purpose.
Yeah. And I think what you found there, and what people in those 2 instances, right? You had somebody who was giving you some affirming word of what you were feeling, and then somebody who was giving you some detracting word. And again, people communicate with other people from a place from where they are and from how they see themselves, right? That leader had an opportunity, right? Every leader, every individual contributor, you have two decisions to make. either go in the direction of positive or go in the direction of being a detractor, right? In every form of communication, you're either going towards positive and affirming, or you're detracting from the situation, or you're not adding value, right? I should say, right? One added value to you because it fueled you. Well, the other one fueled you, but what I would call from the coaching world, it fueled you in a way of potentially catabolic energy, which is negative energy, which is fight or flight energy, which is can be used and is necessary when you're in a bind to get a project done and all the rest of that stuff, but it should not be used all the time to get you motivated, right? But that other one, the affirming one, right? That was the one that hit you right at purpose. That hit you at, I feel satisfied. I feel whole training. And so that gave you energy. That gave you more drive versus that other person. All that other person did was like, man, that was like nitrous fuel in a car to give you a rocket boost. Like, oh, I'm really about to show you wrong. Right. And that's like me with the recruiter telling me that military folks didn't transition well. Right. And you look at me 12 and a half years after being an Army officer and you telling me I ain't got nothing left to give. I'm 35 years old and I ain't got nothing else left to give society. Like I've done my best work. Like, are you kidding me? Like, and for me, it was encouraging to the extent that it was like, oh, I'm not about to waste time now. Yeah. Like that was my thing. I'm not wasting any more time. And what I would tell people, Kenston, like, what would you encourage? Because again, something you did, even with that negative comment, you didn't let it stall you out, which happens to a lot of people. Like, can you break down? Like, I know you got past it. I know you got through it, but let's be real. Let's be real. This is called hot takes, humble, open, and transparent. Like when you first heard those words, was inspiration really what happened to you? Let's be real. Was inspiration what really happened to you first?
It was. I mean, honestly, it was. It was like the music our Rocky music came on. Eye the Tiger just came on, right? Okay. Because, different experiences in life where I've been told, again, for example, I know this is funny, but, for example, I was in church. Me and a friend was in church and we was messing on the piano and the drums. And, being a young person at that time, it was frowned on for you to be in the sanctuary and to be messing on the piano. And some adult came in, we won't name them names, but they came in there and started yelling at us to get off of the instruments. They said, get off of there. You don't need to be on there. You don't know how to play. And I'm going to tell your parents. And I was just like, wow. I was like, looking back at it now, I was like, how else could they have said that? But it's okay because I'm going to go home. And me and my friend did. We got together and we started practicing. Like we was going to teach ourselves how to play. And, eventually in some different other scenarios that just says, okay, I look adversity in the face and I go after it. And so that really was my reaction.
All right. So for the folk, the other 99.9% of the people out there that just would have got ticked off and it would have took them a day or two to get over those words. Kenston is what we aspire to be. He's the role model for turning that energy of negativity into immediate action. I'm gonna be real with you. When that recruiter said what he said to me, I felt some type of way. I'm gonna tell you right now, because I had in my head, I done fought for this country, I done deployed for this country, I done did X, Y, Z, this, that, and the other, and you mean to tell me you don't even know me, and that's the word you put over me? And I mean, I ain't gonna lie, man, I sat with that thing for about a week. Yeah. I sat with that thing for about a week, like, you gotta be kidding me. But one of the things that also happened to me in that week was what happens to most people. We have this thing in our heads, a fundamental attribution error or confirmation bias, where we begin to see things that feed that negative energy. And, well, maybe I ain't good enough, or maybe I shouldn't think that that's the direction I should go in, right? Where you, on the other hand, because you have been pacing yourself towards this purposeful life, me coming directly out of the military, having that life and career transition, I didn't know any different. I didn't know any better on this side of life. I was super successful in the Army. I knew how to be successful there. I knew how to, what you said, jump back on the horse, start riding that sucker. I knew what to do when I was in uniform. But on this side of life, I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have anybody to call and be like, yo, this just got said to me. Like, how do I process this information? Like, should he have said that to me? Should I be feeling this way? And then again, me being honest, as a man, you don't tell nobody when you feeling less than. That's not something I got taught how to do. That's not something I got taught how to work through. One, by myself. Two, with somebody else. That's not something we do. But so Kenston, when we talk to people about deploying into purpose, what did that deployment, because again, you're in that career field now, entrepreneur, but like every facet of your life is training, is developing people, is coaching, all of that today, your entire life is that.
Yeah.
How did you begin to take steps and deploy into purpose?
Yeah. Again, after those conversations, I ramped up, and ramped up meaning I got connected. I started positioning myself. I started aligning myself with my purpose. And so that looked like, a group that we both joined called the John Maxwell program of speakers, coaches, and trainers, and getting in that network allowed me to meet some good folks that were also aligning with their purpose. And so it also looked like getting another coach, an entrepreneurship coach that was already, thriving in that lane, right? So it's taking intentional steps towards launching, right? I hate to say it, but I was on the job, clocking in and clocking out. After that, it was all about purpose. Everything I did, every networking event I went to was all with the intention of launching into my purpose. And so once we got to those steps, once we got it built up, then it was on me to pull the trigger.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny. We were one of my first job out of the Army was, on the HR information system side. So on the HR IT side of things, which I didn't see coming, but through, relationship at church got me on with that first opportunity. And it was similar to the same things. Like I started off super frustrated because I was like, and similar to you, I told people what I desired to do, and different people gave me a shot. And I found myself had several speaking opportunities in front of our department and team. And it was several times people would come to me and be like, Lawrence, you're not going to be here long.
Yeah.
Like you did, like, that's what you're supposed to be doing. Like, but then it was like, I was like, okay, so help. It was crickets. It was like, and it was funny. My first mentor, my first mentor that actually stuck around, I found me through Toastmasters. The organization had a corporate Toastmasters group, and the executive sponsor for that group was present. And after it was over, he walked up to me and was like, hey, you got a mentor? You got somebody? And I was like, no, sir. And he was like, bet. Meet me. This going to be our cadence, half hour. And it was like some of the most powerful 30 minutes meeting with somebody that was just pouring into me. And it became a reciprocal relationship that I'm so thankful for that happened at that point in my life, because it helped feed my existence and further affirm and confirm like the direction I was supposed to be on. I was just supposed to be, we're not meant to live life haphazardly and just, again, I'll wake up and I'll do something. Nah, we are like, for lack of a better term, the things that hold a wheel together. And if you don't do your part, you're not operating with your purpose. because something's out of alignment if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Somebody is missing something. Somebody is missing out on something when you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing within an organization, within your business or whatever it is. And I would say for all of us, take notes. Kenston is dropped little breadcrumbs along this powerful 20 something minutes to what you need to do. And one big word he used was have some intentionality about how you live this life. And that's, to me, if you don't get nothing else, be intentional about the actions you take. And so, Kenston, if you had to give people just three things to start with, right? Because they may be looking at this thing and it looks like a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
What are three things that people can do to get going?
All right. So one, write the vision. Write it down, what you feel like you have purpose to do. Number two, write on that list who you can connect with that can help you go on a journey for pursuing and fulfilling purpose that you're put on this earth to do. And number three, go for it. Go for it. It won't happen unless you do it. We're the gurus of self-leadership. And if you're not leading yourself, that means somebody else is leading you. And that means they may be taking you somewhere that you're not supposed to go. And you may be continuing to operate in somebody else's purpose when you were called to do something yourself.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So write that vision. You got to write it down. If it's not written, it's not real, right? Number two, you got to connect with the right people in the direction, in the field you want to be in. And then three, you got to be a moving target. You can't sit still. You can't stand still. You got to get up and you got to do something with that, right? You got to go after it, because again, like you said, if you're not pulling the wagon, whose wagon are you attached to, and who's pulling you along, right? So we're all intended to be driving our own wagons that are for a greater purpose, bigger than ourselves. So, Kenston, I appreciate you, man, for providing, once again, your expertise, your knowledge, your understanding, your motivation. And again, always giving us something to aspire to be, and be that person that uses negative for positive immediately. That's the goal.
That's that mindset, right? Because it's like, it's that those I teach about, talk about pattern interruptions is we got to be quick to those pattern interruptions. Like, don't go there, Kenston. Don't go there. I got to talk to myself. Don't go there.
That's good stuff.
It's a setup, right? So
that's good stuff. Man.
No, I'm always excited to be on here with you, and excited to talk to your audience. But yeah, let's keep making the world happen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, hey, thank y'all once again for listening in, and we will be with you about weekly, right? So tune in next time to Hot Takes with Boss, and who knows who the next special guest is going to be. All right. Have a great one, everyone.